For the past few years, traditional watches seem to have taken a backseat and smartwatches have stolen the limelight. There is nice development going on in the smartwatches segment, or it would be better to say that the advancements in the smartwatches section are really good, and it won't be wrong to say that it has matured enough. Thanks to the players like Ticwatch. I got my hands on the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS smartwatch recently. At first, I wasn't really excited for this watch, but using it for some days really impressed me. Let me give you an unboxing experience of this watch first. Okay, this is one of the top-notch watches that come with a Snapdragon 4100 SoC. It's got a built-in GPS and military standard construction makes it sturdy. Up to 22 hours of battery life in the smart mode and 45 days in the essential mode. Dual display features, 20 plus professional workout modes are there. It's an IP68 rated watch and supports Google Assistant and 1000 plus watch faces since it's based on Android Wear. Underneath the box we have the color of the watch and box contents are mentioned as well. Let's take it out of the box now. Okay, here is our watch. It's in the black color as you can see. First impressions, it's a very premium watch. It's got a big dial just according to my liking. Underneath the watch we can see some sensors and the charging points are there too. Let me turn this up and let's check other contents in the meanwhile. This is the charging cable, some documentation is there and that's about it. I was expecting a charging puck inside the box but we just got this cable. I will quickly set this watch up, pair it with my phone and get back to you guys. Alright, the watch is fully set. Let's take a deeper look at its construction. Since it's made out of military grade material, it feels solid and kinda rugged. I don't think so it will easily break off. The strap is really nice, it's of rubber. Two buttons can be seen on the right side and on the left side we have a speaker. On the front we get a Gorilla Glass protected 1.4 inches display. It's a dual display. Now the dual display means there is one fully functional display showing you all the elements and stats on this beautiful colorful screen rocking the watch face. The full display turns off when you press the button or just tilt your wrist, and the dual display is like an ambient display. It stays on like an always on display so that you can see the time without turning up the full display of the watch. This helps this watch save a lot of battery. You can change the background color of this display to make it look eye-catching. This is an advantage on the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra only. The simple Pro model doesn't let you change the dual display's background color. You can simply go to the display settings of the watch and choose a color of your liking for the dual display, and you can also turn it on or off from the display settings of the watch. The moment you tilt your hand while wearing this watch, the color pops up, making the time and other elements visible on the screen. Okay, you can swipe down from the top to access the toggles, and here we have the brightness control, volume button, the phone finder, torch, do not disturb, and the flight mode. You can also view the battery percentage and the Wi-Fi connection right here. Let me give you a quick overview of the settings to demonstrate what you can do with this watch. At the top are display settings, and here you can change the watch face, set the screen to remain always on, change the screen timeout or the font size. You can also change the watch faces using your phone, or you can just simply long press the watch face on the main home screen of your watch to quickly change the watch face on the go. Next up are the sound settings. We have the connection settings for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and NFC. The accessibility options are also there. In general, you can change the behavior of media buttons or Watch a tutorial to learn how this watch functions. And now comes my favorite part, personalization. I have already shown you how the dual display customization works. Furthermore, you can change how the hardware buttons work. Select the input methods, which basically means choose your keyboard, the Google Assistant access, and option to enable or disable the alternate launcher. By pressing both the hardware keys at the same time, you can also capture the screenshot on this watch. After this, we have the storage details, and in the end we have the system settings. Here you can enable the essential mode, basically the power saving mode, to keep your watch alive for over 40 days. Restart and reset settings along with the about watch section can be seen here too. And this is it with the settings of the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra. You can swipe up the screen and you will be able to access the notifications that have landed on your phone. By pressing the first button on the left side of the watch, you can access the applications. Ticwatch has loaded this watch with its app suite. This brings various applications like Tick Sleep, Tick Pulse, Tick Oxygen, Tick Zen, and more. Now all these applications are health oriented. They try to improve your life one way or the other by keeping you alerted all the time. For example, you can track your heart rate using the Tick Pulse, oxygen saturation using the Tick Oxygen, track your sleep using the Tick Sleep, and so on. If you want to record all the stats while you are performing an activity, you can actually create a Ticwatch account and sign into this watch. Ticwatch really tries to throw its account sign up on you every now and then. And once you have the account, you can easily store and view all your data. Ticwatch brings over 22 different workout modes that it can either automatically detect and record, or you can launch a specific workout mode on the watch and let the watch be your trainer and companion while you work out. You can also find the calculator application, the weather application is there too, the translator is there, and some more applications can be seen here. Since this is a GPS watch, I would love to install the Google Maps from the Play Store. And you can see that the Google Maps are already working on this watch. Now this is pretty neat. And yeah, the Google Assistant, well, it works really well. The watch can easily pick up your voice, and Qualcomm Snapdragon 4100 is so responsive on this watch. Everything happens before you blink your eye. And by the way, before I forget, I would also like to mention that the Snapdragon 4100 on the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra is overclocked to perform better. Now I would like to talk about my real life experience of the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra. For the past 2 months, this watch has been accompanying me to the gym. I sweat a lot, in fact way too much, and that is a real test for all of my gadgets that I usually wear in the gym. This watch survived the crazy flow of sweat going down my arms, so its IP68 rating is definitely worth praising. Now once I'm working out, I try to respond to all the messages using the watch, because I do not try to distract myself by picking up my phone again and again. So the watch makes it really easy for me to respond to all the messages, and the touch responsiveness is really good. I do not face any difficulties while operating that tiny keyboard on this small screen of the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra. Another thing that I would like to mention is the speaker quality of this watch. Now you can receive all the incoming calls on your watch, and the speaker is nice enough to keep the voice audible. You won't face any issues while conveying your messages or listening to what the other person on the call is saying. The speaker and mic both work pretty well. I do accidentally hit my wrist here and there. Sometimes my wrist with the watch hits the shelf in the kitchen, and sometimes I just end up hitting the doors or the door handles. This watch survived all that torture, which means the military grade construction also works very nicely. On average, this watch has been giving me a battery output of 3 days when I use the full display and keep running the apps on the watch. If I only rely on the dual display, the watch can last for a week easily. I am a fan of watches with big dials, and that is the reason I have a good collection of traditional watches with big dials, especially the watches by brands like Diesel and Police. Now the Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra's dial was big, and this is something that was impressive for me. The strap is really comfortable. You can change the strap if you wish. Of course, you have to pay a few extra bucks to get that additional strap for your watch. Overall, this is a nice watch at just $229. This watch brings all the top-notch features that you would want to see in an Android Wear watch. I just miss a dial on the top of the display. A dial would have made a lot more sense to operate it, but I guess that's also a differentiating factor on this watch. All other features are good and I did not find anything problematic on it. So to sum it up, I can say that this is definitely one of the best Android Wear smart watches out there. There aren't so many Android Wear based watches that give you a premium experience like this, so for that reason this watch definitely gets my recommendation. And that is all from my end. I hope you guys liked today's video. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. With that being said, I will sign off and see you all in the next one.